All right, boys, let's get to it. So, Breech, the Eagles are 10-1. And despite that record, it feels like they still haven't hit their stride, which is a scary proposition for the rest of the NFC. But on Sunday afternoon, they bit but didn't break against Josh Allen, who went absolutely off. Took them to overtime on a Jake Elliott 59-yard laser in the rain. I thought that ball was going to be 20 yards short, and he smoked it. And then a still less than 100% Jalen Hurts ended things with that TD run in overtime. The Eagles, Breech, are Super Bowl favorites, correct?
I guess if you're going by record, I don't know. If the Ravens and Eagles played tomorrow, I think I would pick the Ravens. But look, here's Wilson. You just said the Eagles haven't hit their stride yet. I feel like the Eagles have been the same team all year. They've just been in the same stride. There's no different where they look bad for 1 or 2 quarters. And then this team has the resilience factor, the it factor, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter how many they're trailing by. They might be down by double digits. They're going to come back and win because they're clutch. And so that's what I love about the Eagles. For instance, I think they play the 49ers next week. I think the 49ers are a better team, but the Eagles probably find a way to win the game because that's what the Eagles do. I thought the Eagles were absolutely left for dead in this game. It was the Bills. The Bills are playing for their playoff live. So when it was 24-14 when the fourth quarter started, it just felt like, all right, there's no way the Bills are going to blow this one. The Bills aren't the new Chargers. They're not just going to start finding new ways to lose games. And here we go. Right where I think we all thought it was going to be when the game started was that, hey, the Eagles will find a way to win. They found a way to win. And Jake Elliott should get some sort of trophy for kicking that field goal. It was top 20 kick in NFL history.
Wow.
I think that's a pretty good take because it was 50. Is it 59?
59 in a pouring rain.
59 in the pouring rain, like in like really weird field conditions, and he hooked it in. I guess he faded it in, not a hook. A hook would be to the left. A fade. He sort of. I mean, it was sort of like a power fade where he knew he's going to have to like kind of bash it left and let it fade back to the right. But just because, I mean, I assume like all that went into it.
Well,
I mean,
and they were losing. So if you miss the kick, you lose. It's not like a tie game where you have that little safety net.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, like, yeah, it's like he's got to make that or else the game's over and they fall to 9-2. Weird that their only losses against the Jets. Very, very impressive. And you look at their last 3 wins, they take care of the Cowboys and the Chiefs and the Bills. 49ers and the Cowboys up next. Like, I know that I think we watch the Eagles play and we think, wow, this team is not as dominant as it was last year. And that is true. But last year they were playing a bunch of bad teams, had a really easy schedule. This year, and I was thinking about this, man, like the combination of Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter on the interior for that team, plus Fletcher Cox, is pretty freaking ridiculous. Like those two, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, are going to like buoy the interior of that defensive line for a long, long time. Josh Allen had a great game in this one. He played really well. They had to score that touchdown in overtime, though. You cannot miss on that pass to like the Gabe Davis, whether there's a miscommunication by Gabe Davis or whoever's fault it was, Gabe Davis or Josh Allen. And Josh Allen never won in overtime, which is just wild. 0-6 in his career, including 2 losses this year, week 1 and then week 12. Like you just have to connect on that touchdown because you know that you are giving the Eagles, a team that's moving the ball up and down the field against your pretty porous defense, a chance to go down and score a touchdown and walk it off with a win. And I think there was talk that the Eagles knew, like the offensive lineman said, they knew they were going to score on that touchdown when they saw the safety move for the Bills because it was like Jalen Hurts was going to roll into the end zone. The Bills are 6-6 now, and the Eagles are the bigger story for sure. But you get a 340-yard, 4-touchdown game from Josh Allen. Gabe Davis goes over 100 yards, and Steph Diggs gets a touchdown too. And you feel like you should probably beat most teams, especially if you hold A.J. Brown to under 40 yards.
So, Breech, here's a fun fact for you from our buddy Matt Perino, who covers the Bills for Syracuse.com. According to ESPN Stats and Info, this is in his story after the game, the Bills are the 40th team since the NFL merger in 1970 to have 500 yards, 10 third down conversions. They converted something like 4,000 third and 7 or higher today, and a positive turnover margin in the game. So 40 teams have done it since the merger in 1970. The Bills are the first team to ever accomplish this feat in a game and lose. So 1-39 is now, or 39-1 is now the mark, and that one belongs to the Bills. Sean McDermott
Also a fun fact for you, Wilson. The Eagles became the first team in NFL history to erase their first 4 double-digit deficits of an NFL season. That's why it's so hard to get. They've been trailing by double digits 4 times this year, and they still find ways to win.
One more fun fact then from Josh Dubow from the Associated Press. The Eagles are the first team since 1960 to be outgained by at least 90 yards in at least 4 different games and win them all. So this is like triple Steelers. The Steelers were getting outgained and still winning games. The Eagles are being outgained not by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 yards. They're being outgained by 90 yards. In this game, it was over 100, and they're still winning. I think that's why we're having this conversation of, are they super good or are they just good? Because they keep other teams are outplaying them, but the Eagles are winning. And obviously the scoreboard is all that matters. Well, someone can I ask you something? Can I ask you both something? But
yeah, I'll throw out some more fun facts, but sure, go for it.
Sean McDermott, should the Bills with 1 timeout played for a field goal at the end of regulation?
So that was the 4th and 6, or is that the overtime?
No, that was after the kickoff. After Elliott made the 59-yard
field they
goal,
took the knee.
Bills had the ball 1st and 10 at 25 with 20 seconds left and 1 timeout.
Yes.
So their concern was
you have to go for a field goal there.
Hold on. Their concern was that the pass rush that Brinson just talked about would strip sack Josh Allen. And I get that. But you know who's not playing quarterback for the Bills? Kenny Pickett. Josh Allen is. So, yeah, you take a chance and you throw the ball. You tell him to do what he did all afternoon, which is run around and make crazy plays. And, probably in all likelihood not get sacked. Worst case, you throw a pass down the field and it's incomplete, and then you go from there. That ain't why they lost, but I understand.
You have Gabe Davis, who's playing a really good game after getting a game ball the week before, even though he had 0 targets. He's out there balling out. He's a really good deep threat. He's had great hands all afternoon. Josh Allen's been slinging it through this bad weather. Steph Diggs is like one of the best receivers in the NFL. Lights up both press man, lights up man zone, whatever it is. You got Dalton Kincaid, who's been playing awesome too. And worst case is you run James Cook on a wheel route. And Joe Brady's been calling a good game for 2 weeks in a row. I think you go for it. I mean, you have a timeout. If you get a 25-yard completion, you call the timeout and you're gonna have 2 or 3 more plays, or maybe 2 more plays, and you're gonna get a spike. I mean, you're gonna get a look at a field goal if you get a decent early pass there, and there's no chance the Eagles are gonna they don't have enough time to. I don't think they had timeouts either because they burned it to get the ball back.
Well, and how are you the team? You're the Bills who got burnt by a quarterback who broke his time in 13 seconds. So, how is that not in the back of your head of, oh, Patrick Mahomes did that to us? We have a guy who is supposed to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Should I show some trust in him? Maybe that feels like a trust factor versus Allen couldn't do it.
No, you know who Sean McDermott may not trust, Breach? Your buddy Tyler Bass, who missed 2 kicks.
Hold on. One of them was actually blocked by somebody Brinson already mentioned. Jalen Carter got a hand on one of the field goals, so that wasn't Tyler Bass's fault.
Interesting. Interesting. I was interesting. Brady Quinn mentioned this last week, or maybe 2 weeks ago. I guess it was last week 2 weeks ago because they fired Ken Dorsey. He's pointing out that Terry Pagula, the Bills owner, he and his wife are big time donors at Penn State as well. And so currently, right now, they have all of their money. Or not all of their money, but all their money is pumped into the Buffalo Sabres, the Buffalo Bills, and the Penn State Nittany Lions. And Penn State fired their offensive coordinator. James Franklin's under heat. And the Bills fired their offensive coordinator, and Sean McDermott's under heat. How hot do you think Sean McDermott's seat is?
0 degrees Celsius and or Fahrenheit. Your choice.
I think it's
those are the same temperatures, Wilson.
Oh, touche. That's right.
Or are they? No,
the 0 degrees Celsius is 32. It's 32 Fahrenheit, right?
What are you doing? 0 Celsius is 32 Fahrenheit.
I mean, if the Bills miss the playoffs,
yes, I think it's warmer than Wilson thinks it is.
But
so maybe not as hot as you're implying.
Yeah, it's not above fall weather.
We're like the 3 little bears. Wilson's porch is too cold. Brinson's is too hot. Mine's just right.
Which is interesting though, because normally this would be a spot where Wilson would say, "I think Sean McDermott should be fired," but he went to William & Mary, and I would say that's ridiculous. However, I do agree that he may be getting a little bit of a hot butt syndrome with with this Buffalo Bills situation. Just really quickly, two more fun facts. The Eagles are the fourth team in NFL history to start 10-1 or better in back-to-back seasons. The others, the 1941 and 1942 Bears, the 72 and 73 Dolphins, and the 2005-2006 Colts. Now, this is a weird way to frame this, but all three of those teams won a championship in that span. So if that trend were to hold, the Eagles will win the Super Bowl this year. Also, Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, the first opposing quarterbacks in NFL history with 2+ passing touchdowns and 2+ rushing touchdowns in the same game.
So who do you guys think McDermott fires off the offensive coaching staff after this loss? After
You
his
can't fire
defense
Joe
gave
Brady.
up-
Joe Brady's doing a good job.
He should fire his
30
defensive coordinator.
By the
that's
way,
him. Oh, that's a problem.
Stephen O, our buddy at Sportsline, as the Sunday night game was going on, said the Bills' playoff chances dropped to 17% after the loss to Philly. So that's something to monitor. That's a pretty low number. I'm not great at math, but I know enough to know that's not where you want to be if you're Sean McDermott. By the way,
If you have Dolphins tickets, Dolphins AFC East tickets, you are in a very good shape.